Have you ever wondered what would happen if you took just $100 every single month and made it work for you, instead of spending it on takeout or that streaming service you barely use? What I'm about to show you will completely change how you think about small amounts of money and their potential to transform your entire financial future. Most people think you need thousands of dollars to start building real wealth, but that's the biggest lie the financial industry has ever told you. The truth is, $100 a month is all it takes to set yourself up for financial freedom, and by the end of this video, you'll understand exactly how to make this happen and why starting today could be the difference between retiring comfortably or working until you're 80. Let me start with a story that will blow your mind. Two friends, Sarah and Mike, both 25 years old, making the same salary. Sarah decides to invest $100 every month starting immediately. Mike thinks he'll start when he's 30 and can afford to invest $200 monthly. Fast forward 40 years. Sarah, who invested the smaller amount but started earlier, has accumulated over $800,000. Mike, despite investing twice as much monthly for 35 years, only has $600,000. The 5-year head start gave Sarah a $200,000 advantage, and that's the power of compound interest that most people never truly grasp. This isn't just theory. This is mathematics working in your favor, and once you see these numbers, you'll never look at that daily coffee purchase the same way again. We're talking about turning $1,200 a year into a fortune that could fund your retirement, buy your dream home, or give you the financial independence to pursue your passions without worrying about money. But here's where most people mess this up completely. They think investing means picking individual stocks, timing the market, or needing to become some kind of financial genius. Wrong. The most successful investors often do the simplest things consistently, and I'm going to break down the exact strategy that works regardless of whether the market goes up, down, or sideways. The secret weapon is something called dollar cost averaging through index funds, and it's so simple that Wall Street doesn't want you to know about it because they can't charge you massive fees for this strategy. When you invest the same amount every month, regardless of market conditions, you automatically buy more shares when prices are low and fewer shares when prices are high. This smooths out the volatility and puts time on your side instead of against you. Let's talk real numbers here. The stock market has historically returned about 10% annually over long periods. Some years it's up 30%. Other years it's down 20%. But over decades, that 10% average holds remarkably steady. Using this conservative estimate, your $100 monthly becomes approximately $140,000 in 20 years, $400,000 in 30 years, and over $1 million in 40 years. But wait, there's more to this story that makes it even better. What if you could get your employer to match some of this investment? Many companies offer retirement plans where they'll match your contributions up to a certain percentage. This is literally free money, yet millions of workers leave it on the table every year. If your employer matches even $50 of your monthly $100 investment, you've just doubled your contribution without spending an extra penny. Here's another angle most people never consider. That $100 doesn't have to come from cutting your lifestyle dramatically. Look around your life right now. How much do you spend on subscription services you rarely use? How much goes to impulse purchases at the store? How much disappears on overpriced lunch meals when you could pack something from home? Most people can find $100 in wasteful spending without even noticing a difference in their quality of life. The psychology of this approach is brilliant too. $100 feels manageable, not overwhelming. You're not trying to find $500 or $1,000 monthly, which would require major lifestyle changes. This amount is small enough that you won't feel deprived, but large enough to create substantial wealth over time. It's the perfect balance between sacrifice and sustainability. Now, let's address the elephant in the room. What about inflation? Won't your money be worth less in the future? This is exactly why investing beats saving in a regular bank account. While inflation averages about 3% annually, your investments are growing at 10%, giving you a real return of 7% after inflation. Money sitting in a savings account actually loses purchasing power over time, while invested money grows faster than inflation eats away at it. Here's something that will shock you about timing. People always say they'll start investing when they get their next raise, when they pay off debt, when life gets less expensive. But life never gets less expensive, and there's never a perfect time to start. The best time was 20 years ago. The second best time is right now. Every month you delay is literally costing you thousands in future wealth. Let me paint a picture of what this actually looks like in your life. Imagine being 55 years old and checking your investment account to see $600,000 sitting there. You realize you could retire early, or at minimum, retirement is completely secure. You have options. You have freedom, you have peace of mind, all because you consistently invested what amounts to about $3.30 per day for 30 years. The compound interest effect becomes absolutely magical in the later years. In year 25 of your investing journey, your money is making more money annually than you're contributing. Your investments are working harder than you are. This is when you truly understand why Einstein allegedly called compound interest the eighth wonder of the world. But here's the advanced strategy that takes this to the next level. As your income grows over the years, try to increase that monthly investment slightly. If you can bump it up by just $25 every few years, the results become extraordinary. That small increase compounds too, potentially adding hundreds of thousands to your final total. The biggest mistake people make is thinking they need to understand everything about investing before they start. You don't need to analyze company financial statements or predict market movements. You need to choose a broad market index fund with low fees and set up automatic monthly investments. The simplicity is what makes it work long term. What about market crashes? Won't you lose everything? Here's the beautiful part about dollar cost averaging over decades. Market crashes become your friend because you're buying more shares at lower prices. The 2008 financial crisis, the dot-com bubble. Every major market decline in history has been followed by recovery and new highs. Time smooths out all the volatility if you don't panic and stop investing. Consider the alternative. What happens if you don't do this? You reach retirement age with only Social Security to rely on, which might provide basic survival but certainly won't fund the lifestyle you want. You become dependent on others or forced to work well into your 70s, not by choice but by necessity. The cost of not investing that $100 monthly is potentially catastrophic to your future quality of life. This isn't just about money in a bank account. This is about freedom, options, and dignity in your later years. It's about being able to help your children, donate to causes you care about, or simply not worrying about money when you should be enjoying your golden years. The technology today makes this easier than ever. You can set up automatic investments through apps that round up your purchases and invest the spare change. You can have money automatically transferred from your checking account to your investment account every month. The entire process can be set up in less than an hour and then runs on autopilot for decades. Here's your action plan. First, open an investment account with a low-cost provider. Second, choose a broad market index fund with expense ratios below 1%. Third, set up automatic monthly investments of $100. Fourth, increase the amount whenever possible. Fifth, ignore market noise and stay consistent for decades. The hardest part isn't finding the $100 or setting up the account. The hardest part is believing that something so simple can be so powerful, and then having the discipline to stick with it when friends are spending their money on immediate gratification while you're building long-term wealth. Your future self is depending on the decision you make right now. That person looking back 40 years from now will either thank you for starting today or regret that you waited for a better time that never came. $100 a month isn't just an investment in the stock market. It's an investment in your freedom, your security, and your peace of mind. The question isn't whether you can afford to do this. The question is whether you can afford not to.